Hello, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and welcome aboard. A book review for you today, and I know this is a book that a lot of you have been very interested in, a few of you have asked about. And this is the brand new book from Tom over at Anyz. Anyz Publications is the publisher. And as you know, Tom over at Anyz, he's the guy that makes all the beautiful little resin upgrades, the little toggle switches and bits and pieces that we've used in our A20 cockpit. And you've seen me review lots and lots of stuff. There's little decals and all sorts of stuff. Really interesting. Go and have a look at the website. And but basically, I've got this book to show you, and I've got a few other little bits and pieces to show you, which are a special little treat. Now, as usual, Tom's presentation is absolutely amazing. You can see this book has got this sort of grey banner wrapped around it, which matches the engine, okay, which is a real nice touch. And then inside, it's got here on the inside, thank you for shopping with Anyz models. And there you can see there www.anyz.io. We'll have a look at this site. There's lots and lots of really interesting stuff. You can also buy the 3D program, so you can print the resin stuff yourself. And then also in the back of the book we have a little poster, so you can see here this is a poster of the engine, and this is the engine that comes in the Airfix 1/24 scale Hellcat. It really is absolutely gorgeous, and what he's done, he's gone to town and just really super detailed it. And you can actually buy the programs to make these 3D printed parts, and you can buy all the little bits and pieces from Tom over at Anyz. And this book shows you step by step exactly how he's done it. So let's have a look. I'm sorry about the glossiness. I can't really get rid of it because basically it's glossy paper. So, but you know, you want to go and buy the book anyway. We don't want to show you everything, do we? So basically you've got the, in here you've got the contents. So it's the backstory, the nose section all the way through. And you can see here, and it's, the backstory is he initially bought the kit, did the cockpit and did some work on the engine, you can see there, using the kit parts. And then he did some work on the undercarriage using his parts. And this was way back in 2019, which was just about, just about when Tom was starting. So, you can see he's done some work here with the HGW belts and everything. And then he started looking at the plastic parts, and as you can see here, I don't think this is common, but you can see that plastic part there has got some distortion in it. So he thought he'd go to town, get himself a reference material, and actually start to 3D print and super detail this engine. So the nose section, you've got the gear reduction motor here, the gear reduction area. So he's basically made up a 3D model of it. And he's got the ignition ring as well there. And as you can see here, he's printed it out. He's printed out the ignition ring, ring, that's the word I was looking for. He's got the magnetos there and the actual spindle there as well for the prop. So he's 3D printed them from his design. And you can see here, here's a comparison. And these are the Airfix plastic parts, which are lovely in themselves. But you can see here, this is much nicer with the 3D printed parts. And you can see the detail is fantastic on the top of those magnetos and everything. And the other little greeblies that are up here, you've got fantastic detail with the Pratt & Whitney. It's an R2800, this engine. And then you've got the spark plugs and everything here, spindle on the front. Very nice indeed. And then he's got to painting it. So he's given it a coat of Mr. Primer Surfacer, which is, as you know, everybody's favourite. And then he's giving it a coat of MRP 128 Silver Metallic to get a nice silver colour on there, ready for chipping. He's also used some hairspray there. Then we're using, these are one of his products. I don't believe I have these, but these are the bolt heads. So what he's done is drilled the holes around the back of the casing, painted the bolt heads in silver, and then added them. And you can see the kind of effect you get here. You paint it first, and then you don't have to do any special detail painting. It's got this unit here, which is going on the top. And here he's explaining that he's doing some chipping, but he hasn't actually, wetted the paint. He's just used the hairspray as a, to get the paint not very well stuck. So he's just chipping it with a blade. And here he's using his placards, AN050, and these are some of his decals that he makes. You can see he's got some placards on there just to sort of liven things up a bit. Then he's getting into the oil washes. So he's got his oil washes there with his low odor solvent, mixing up the oils, And here he's starting to do some super detailing. He does these brushes as well. These are really nice. And this is his braided piping he does. So he does these end fittings, but he also does this these lines. And this is Anyz 0.5mm braided lines, AN 01109 rust brown, and they are absolutely incredible. They look really, really good. Here he's moving on to the spinner. So he's got the shaft there, he's got the thread on the end, and he's moving on to the spinner. So here he's making up this piece here to replace the plastic part, which is extremely nice indeed. And then this is a big problem on that engine. If you remember, I made caps for these in resin. But yeah, the engine is not very nice at all. It needs a lot of work, a lot of cleanup. And what he's done here, he's actually filed and sanded all the rocker covers, or the cam covers, rocker covers, whatever you want to call them. They're rocker covers, aren't they? To get them all nice and everything. Taken away all these tubes that go between and remade those himself. He's also modified a saw blade so you can get in between the cylinders and actually add the cooling fins and everything on there. So he's used thin strips of 1.1mm lead foil stripes to create clamps on the cylinders. There's clamps going around here. So he's got some lead foil there. The clamp screws were made 0.5 evergreen round rods. Furthermore, the valve covers were enhanced with extra 3D printed bolts. So you can see here he's added some bolts around here on the sides. Here we are painting it all. Okay, and then using the universal lines for the bands and everything. And then here we are building up the, he's got the plastic ring there, but he's not very keen on it, so he's making up a model, and he's done the actual, he's made the ring there and the push rods from 3D printed medium. Drilling out the baffle plates here to get the ring in between the cylinders was enhanced with additional 3D printed screws. Oh my god, look at this. And then he's adding some engine grime. So you've got some grime on the cylinders there, and we can see all the work around those cylinders that he's done with all his 3D printed parts. Then here, onto the firewall, he started off by painting it silver, giving it the the hairspray treatment and the zinc chromate and the blue and everything. But because of this horrible grainy finish on the plastic, it's a real big problem with this model. He says it looks like concrete rather than aluminium. So what he's done is covered it here in bare metal foil, and then he's gone on and painted it in zinc chromate, then with the sea blue, and then done the chipping and the rubbing and everything, and ended up with that very realistic looking metallic finish. Well, it is realistic because it is metal. Here he's made up 3D printed inlets to save on doing all the seam cleanup. And here we've got metal tubes which he's drilled out on the lathe, added to the end of the exhausts. You can see the exhaust there with the aluminium tubes on the ends. And this is the process he's gone by for painting them. And then he's making up these clamps as well for the ends. I'll show you those in a second. There they are. There's the clamps on the ends. And you can see we've got the 3D printed bolt heads in there as well. Here's the ignition lines, which are again the braided hosing. And here he's using a Proxon milling machine, and to get the strap to go around the outside of there, which is absolutely stunning. Making up a stand, CAD and 3D printed holder. So there we go. So there's all the parts ready to go together. And here we've got little bits and pieces ready to be going on. These are spark plugs, AN060 I think. You can see here's the braided hose, and he's adding the braided hose in there for all the for the spark plug leads, and putting the braided hose up against the candle seals the end and stops it all fraying, and it means the glue is better, prevents the glue being drawn up the line, saves it soaking up. Cutting thin metal strips here, making the metal strips for the bands that go around the ignition leads there. Absolutely stunning, isn't it? And then he had an accident, he broke the spindle, so he decided to take it all apart and remake it. So there we go, that's that been redone. And then here it is on the stand, and he's made a badge for the stand that gets screwed on with a couple of Allen bolts. And here he is just adding some finishing touches, and then there's the actual engine, the final thoughts. And this is his first attempt, and this is what he's done now. So you can see that, I mean, that looks amazing, but this is just incredible, absolutely incredible. And you can see it there. Really, really nice. As I say, sorry about the glossiness, guys, but it can't be helped. I can turn the lights off completely and you won't be able to see anything. There you go, you can see it there. There's all the 3D printed work on there. Absolutely stunning. And there's Tom himself with a undercarriage leg with all his hoses and everything. So what you see, he's advertising himself there. No minimum order value, order by delivery, free shipping option available. That's when you spend a certain amount. So there we go. So a short description of the book generated by artificial intelligence. So there we are. So that's the book. Now, he sent me the 3D printed parts that he's used to make this engine. And unfortunately, these aren't for sale. You can only buy the program. And they haven't fared well, unfortunately, in the post. So here we can see we have some 3D printed panels, but there's no parts on them, they're all gone. And you can see in here there's lots of broken pieces. And these are the little crossover tubes that go on the cylinders. These are these bits here. Okay, they go in between the cylinders there. And you can see them in the bottom of the tray here. There's one there. You can see them in the bottom of the tray, and they are there's loads of them in there. I think there's probably enough, but most of them got broken by the look of it. You can see there most of them got broken. There's also another couple of bits and pieces. There's a 3D printed panel there. We've got that looks like a nose cap to go on the front of the spindle, and then there's a little pulley here for the carburetor or whatever. I'm guessing a little pulley there, and there's also a little T-piece for something or other there. So as I say, that didn't really fare very well, but I'm sure we can make use of it. I probably will use all this on one of my engines. As you know, I am doing a Hellcat, but it won't be anything like as nice as Tom's, I can tell you, I can assure you that. And then in here we've got another little plastic box with some lovely bits, and these all got here okay. So there's the actual ring there for the, that's the ring for the push rods. So that's to completely replace the Airfix parts we've got seam to clean up. We've got our spinner there, which has the correct detail on the nose, which is very, very nice. As I say, you can buy all this. You can't buy the resin, but you can buy the program. So if you've got a 3D printer, you can print it all out. There's another T-piece there, look. Okay, and then we have these bits here. I'm not exactly sure what these are. We've got 3 of those there, and they've got here fine. There's another one of those little pulleys there. It looks like I've just dropped it. Looks like a throttle pulley, doesn't it? Whoops, just rolled it onto the floor. I'll have to pick that up in a minute. And then I couldn't do that again. If I tried, could I roll it down my arm that perfectly? And then here we have our spinner, which, as you can see, is beautifully detailed, but all that bolt detail and everything on there. And the prop blades are going to go in, and that spinner is going to sit on the front of there. Very nice. We have a magneto. Throwing stuff all over the floor here. We have a magneto there, which is very nice. Much nicer than the plastic kit parts. Don't get me wrong, the plastic kit parts are lovely, but obviously these are much nicer. We have something or other there, I'm not sure what that is. You can see it's a little nubbin of some sort. And then we have, yeah, something's been broken off of there. It was probably one of those pulleys that I just dropped on the floor. And then here, partition, it's a handy little box this. We have the spindle. You can see that's all got broken, the thread's gone and everything, unfortunately. We have another magneto there. Very nice. We have the big box that goes in the middle. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but there it is with the holes ready for the 0.5 braided cable. We have another cover for the spindle, which is lucky because the thread's broken off. And here we have the other box that sits on the front of the gear casing there. So all very nicely done indeed. So obviously the thread got broken on that spindle before it even went in the box because it's not in there. So that cap's going to sit on the end of there, and that will be fine. So that's those bits there. And then that way over there. And then we have finally another box here which has lots of bits and pieces, and we have the main gear case, which as you can see is gorgeous, and you've got those holes around the base ready to be drilled out to put those bolt heads in. And then we've got the locations for the magnetos and the other bits and pieces. But as you can see, that is far superior to the plastic parts. For some reason he sent me 2 ignition rings. So they're both exactly the same. He sent me 2, so that's good of him. It's very nice because I've got 3 of these engines. 4 actually, I've got 4 of these engines, sorry. And then here are some, these are the pallets that the parts would have been on, and here are the push rod tubes in there. There we go. So they are basically going to sit in that ring. So we're going to cut that piece off of there, and they're going to sit in that ring, and they're going to be our push rod tubes rather than having to worry about the mold seams and everything on the original parts. So that's going to be a really nice job. So there we go, guys. So that has been the Anyz book on the Airfix 124 scale Pratt & Whitney R2800 engine, which is a beautiful model in itself, but he's just taken it to the next level. It's absolutely gorgeous. So that's the bit. It's called Just an Engine Upgrade by Tom Anyz. There's a barcode there. I'm guessing that could be an ISBN. There's an ANPB001. I'm guessing if you scan that, I'm guessing it'll take you to it. But yeah, very, very nice indeed. As I say, all glossy, so I'm sorry if you didn't get to see the images very well, but go get yourself the book and then you can have a good look at it. But well worth having. Great guide for any radial engine, I'm guessing, really, because they're, you know, they're all pretty much the same. They all have the fins, they all have the ignition ring. They're all different shapes and sizes, obviously, but very, very nice indeed. And then just finally, he's also sent me these. He's now managed to get these drills, and they are 0.2 millimeters. Normally we get the smallest drill we get is 0.3. You can see these are 0.2, so absolutely tiny. So very nice indeed. So thank you for that, Tom. And he sent me 2 boxes of those for some reason. But these are one of his latest tools he's got available. He does lots of tools. The best of all, I think, are his tweezers, which are here. And these are amazing. AN059. The Anyz tweezers, I absolutely love them. They're great for picking up tiny parts, and they're extremely sharp, so be very careful with them. They are amazing. So there we are. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that. I'm going to go and find that part on the floor now. I hope the carpet monster hadn't got it. And I'll see you all soon. So make sure you get over to anyz.io or anyz.de, is it? I think you can go to. But www.anyz.io. Get on over there and you can order that book and all sorts of bits. And if you spend, I think it's more than €50, you get free postage. If you spend so much more, you get upgraded to DPD or something. I can't remember now. Anyway, I will see you all soon. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.